Not too long ago, we did a video that we were the first channel leaking the Harbor Freight Black Friday sale. If you didn't see it, go check it out. I'll put a link for it down below. But I wanted to drill down on a couple of the hot items that Harbor Freight's going to have on sale starting next week. Now, let's be honest. Harbor Freight's notorious for having meh kind of sales. And this one is no different, except for their top 4 banner items. When I'm talking about the banner items, is this new thing that Harbor Freight started doing on all their big sales. They have this big red banner across here where they have a bunch of just staggering discounts. We're looking 40, 30, 30, and 40% off Icon Daytona Jacks, Apache cases, and Hardy gloves. So we're going to talk about what the best items in each category is and about what you can what maybe you're missing as far as this sale that you should be thinking about, and some of the things that you're thinking are going to be in sale that aren't. But first, a word from today's sponsor, and that is the Den Tools. That's right, we're sponsoring ourselves. Don't forget, you can go over to denatools.com. I'll put a link down below. You can check out our socket trays that we're now making here in Montana. These are chemical impact resistant trays made on our 3D printers here, designed to help. These are designed specifically for the Quinn Master socket sets, not the Quinn Master Technician set, just the 5 Quinn Master socket sets. We will be coming out with more stuff. We will, but we want to get through the holiday season first. I've heard that they fit other things, but we can't guarantee it at this point. So if you've got another type of set, I can't guarantee it's going to fit, but if you've got the Quinn sets, and who doesn't have the Quinn sets by now, this is the socket set for you. Look at it. They're gorgeous. Anyway, so check them out. Links down below. Thanks for supporting the channel. Rather than us pushing worthless merch and stuff like this, we'd rather do fair value of trade, and this is the way we're doing it. Anyway, let's get back to it. The number one question I get is, will there be Icon torque wrenches on sale? And my guess is no, specifically because they're not ratchets, they're torque wrenches. They might be ratcheting torque wrenches, but there's ratcheting wrenches. Those aren't on sale either. They look like a torque wrench or like a ratchet. They're not a ratchet. They're called torque wrench. Now, who knows? It may come, but when the sale finally officially gets announced, that may be included. I would not bet money on it, all right? But let's talk about what you can get a deal on. First of all, we got 2 different styles, I guess technically 4, because we got the regular Icon ratchets and we have the new G2, all right? There's a lot of great stuff. I mean, we got the 26-inch long ones all the way down to the 1/4 inch. But I got to say, the daily driver for most people is a 3/8 long, I should say, 3/8 inch flex head. And here we got the locking flex head ratchet in 3/8 in the G2 style, normally $70. And we're going to knock, what is it, 40? It's 40%, right? 40% off of that. That's going to be insane, 40%. So you're looking at 10% of 70 is 7. So for those $28, you're going to be saving $28 on that. This is not, you're not going to see a sale like this for a while, all right? And I know people are going to be like, can I buy an original one? And then when they change all over to G2, can I then break it and return it and get a G2? That's on you, brother. You figure that one out. I'm not answering that. But I think the answer is fairly obvious on that one. But the point is, you can get a G2 ratchet now with the new handles and everything else, the locking flex head. Fantastic, fantastic ratchets, all right? And you're going to get them for $28 off. You're not going to see a sale like this in a long time. Also, you can get the gold ratchet on sale as well. I would highly recommend looking at those G2 ratchets. Those, I think, are going to be the real value in this sale because, they came out this year. It's going to be a while until the rest of them come out. I would jump all over them with this coupon. They're going to go quick, and this is the reason why you're going to want to have an Inside Track membership, because if you don't, all the good ones are probably going to be picked over by the end of the week. Now, maybe they'll get restocks. Maybe it'll happen. I'm not willing to bet on it. I would grab what you can now, so make sure you're Inside Track because these are great. I had this one. I gave it to a friend's son who's trying to get into, turning a wrench and stuff like that. So I gave it to him as a gift. I was just using my 1/4 inch one today. It's fantastic. The 1/2 inch one, for me, honestly, in most cases, when I have to grab a 1/2 inch, I'm going to grab a power tool. So I don't use the 1/2 inch as much. Maybe you're the same way. If so, let me know down in the comments. What's your daily driver size ratchet? Is it a 1/4, a 3/8, a 1/2 inch? Is it a flex head? Is it straight? Is it long, extended? Is it stubby? Let me know. I'd like to hear what you guys use. All right, now next up, we're going to talk about the second coupon, and that one is 30% off of Daytona jacks. All right, now these are the floor jacks. All right, so you're going to get. Let me pull up full screen here. You're going to get a choice of any one of these. They have the aluminum racing jacks for you kids racing your jacks on Friday nights, and then we got the standard ones. And I think the real standout one here. Now you can get the budget one for $179, but my two favorites are going to be these. This is the one that I bought myself. All right, it's the 3-ton long reach, low profile. It's both. It's long reach, low profile, but it's also high lift because they make it shorter and longer. It has a longer fulcrum, so it actually lifts stuff higher. So if you've got a lifted truck or something like that, and you don't want to get the Badlands, this is the next highest lifting jack after the Badlands off-road jack, which is not part of the sale. Now, it is part of the sale. There's actually a separate sale on that, but you're not getting 30% off on it. Still a good deal. Still something to consider, right? I like the Badlands jack. I like it a lot. But this one is, I think, probably the most versatile. I can use it. I've used it on my buddy's MGs. I've used it on my lifted, pickup truck, and everything in between. It can lift my Suburban. It can lift my Explorer XL. It can lift both of my Armadas. It can lift some heavy stuff. I've used this jack a ton, and it's never, let me down except when I told it to. Anyway, $269. 30% off on that. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get my calculator out because I'm going to get the math wrong. But at $269, we'll call it $270 because that's what it is. We like to round here. At $270, you're going to only be paying 70% of that with this coupon. That's going to take it down to $189. That's a great price on this jack. Now, the other jack in question is the Daytona Super Duty. This is the one that kind of made them famous, what they got known for. And of course, it was you could still get it in the classic yellow. But then they came out with the candy apple metallic red, the sunburst metallic orange, the plum crazy metallic purple, and now they finally, a year after they talked about it and they teased it, we got the metallic green is available. So you got 4 metallic colors plus the basic yellow. They should do that in metallic and just round out the thing. Here's the thing with this. This comes with a 3-year warranty built in. Everything else is 90 days. This jack comes with a 3-year warranty, and you can tell when you look at the welds on this jack, it's built different than everything else. This is a step up from everything. It's better quality than the long reach. It's better quality than all that stuff. But that's on you if this is what you're looking for. I see tire shops all the time buying this because they buy it, they use it for 2.5 years, they beat the snot out of it, and then they take it back and get a new one. So there's a reason this jack made them famous and why pros still use this jack. I know guys who hate Harbor Freight. They hate it. They hate it. They hate it. I'll never shop at Harbor Freight. And I'm like, what's that in the corner? Well, that's my Daytona jack. But that's different. Right. That's different. All right. And the next one up we're going to talk about is the Apache cases. I love this. 30% off Apache cases. These things are phenomenal. Of course, my go-to one that I'm excited about is the one for your long distance paper punchers, especially this time of year. I had a old school zip up style case that came unzipped in the back of my truck, and my rifle shimmied out of it, and it left a huge long scratch down the beautiful walnut stock. And I will say this, it was a Henry, and I reached out to Henry, and they sent me a free replacement. Didn't have to, wasn't in a warranty, just good folks sent me a free replacement. So if I'm ever buying a lever action again, it's going to be a Henry. There's just no two ways about it. But that said, I'm also never using a zip-up case anymore. I'm getting hard plastic cases because I love that rifle. I love all my stuff, and I want to take care of it. And this is the way to do it. Right here, the beautiful cases. And they got the pick and pluck foam. So the foam is actually micro cut, so it stays in place, but then you can pull out little squares of it to custom fit it to whatever you're using it for. I use it for my cameras. I've got thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment. My son does as well. And we both have the Apache cases because I knew when I gave him the camera, I'm like, and here's the case that goes with it. And I'd already pre-plucked all the foam for it. So I knew it would fit in there and he could use it, and it lives there and it takes care of it. And I never have to worry about him dropping it and breaking it. Or not never, but you know what I'm saying. I love these cases. Now, one thing I didn't think about was the fact that also in this is the Apache 550 weatherproof case. That's part of it also. And you can get 30% off of that as well. So something to consider there. And then we got the Hardy gloves, right? Not nearly as exciting. Everyone just thinks of them as the little plastic nitrile gloves and stuff like that. But some you might want to consider here, okay? First one we're going to talk about, this. The Hardy High Dexterity Impact Resistant Work Gloves. These things, if you need, serious protection for hard work, these are the gloves to get. $15, you're going to get 40% off of that. So 15's $1.50, $3, that's $6 off. You're at what, $9 for a set of these? All right, next one is going to be, winter's around the corner. You're going to be out there shoveling, running the snowblower, all sorts of stuff. Insulated, water-resistant work gloves. Again, same price. You're looking at $9 now. $9 on some good winter gloves. I might have to grab some. I have some I got last year, and they never really did what I needed them to do. I'm going to try the Hardys. And then if you like the nitrile gloves, have you tried the 9mm? It feels like you're wearing like a set of rhino skin. It is insane how thick this stuff is. If you need serious protection, 9mm is where it's at it. You're looking at normally $17. Let me pull it up. You're looking at normally $17 on that. So that's going to knock $1.70 off times 4. You do the math. I'm tired today. Anyway, the point is this. Don't sleep on the Hardy gloves. This is your chance to stock up for the year. All right? I get the ratchets are cool. The jacks, that's a no-brainer. The Apache cases, of course. But don't sleep on this 40% off on the Hardy gloves, because that, as I said, that's going to take you through the next year to the next Black Friday. All right. So there you go. Those are, I think, the best deals. I'll be honest. There's some other good deals in there. You can go watch my other video. I call them all out on that. Again, I'll put a link to that down below. The sale starts, let me pull it back up. The sale starts on Monday. All right. Right there. It's Inside Track on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. They're closed Thursday for Thanksgiving. So Turkey Day, no sale. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Cyber Monday, are the deals for everybody. If you want first pick of the litter, you got to be Inside Track. I keep telling you folks, you want to be Inside Track if you want the best deals, if you want access to the great deals, if you want the limited, supply kind of stuff, you got to be Inside Track. Remember, Harbor Freight has never paid me. I never take a dime from Harbor Freight. They don't even pay affiliate money for links. We talk about Harbor Freight because you guys like them, because I like them, because they're the best bang for the buck going. They're replacing Sears as that go-to place where you can just walk in, slap an item on the table, go and get it replaced. They're walking the walk and not just talking the talk, all right? That's why we cover Harbor Freight on this channel. If you like what we do, go ahead and chomp the old like button, smash that subscribe, ring the bell on the way out. You all take care, God bless, and as always, shine on.